I don't know what you think about when you think about God's presence, that phrase, or living in God's presence, but it's a topic that I love to talk about and that I love to encourage other people about. And I released a video actually that I'll link to at the end of this one if you'd like to know just more about my thoughts on it. But I wanted to share today just kind of, what it's like to be with Jesus over something that maybe you've been avoiding for a while. And let me just share with you a little bit about who I am. I've known about Jesus all my life. My parents taught me about him from the womb, and I don't have a single memory of not believing in him. At 15, someone told me that I needed to say out loud that, the prayer that I believed that Jesus died on the cross for my sins and that I believe he rose from the dead and that I wanted to give my life to him. And that's when I prayed the prayer. But I didn't really actually come to a deeper relationship with him until my mid 20s. And that was after a lot of heartache and pain. And it was then that I actually started learning about like what it means to be friends with God, not just to know him and to honor him. Yes, of course, he's a holy God and to honor him that way, but like what it means to actually have just kind of like a day to day, moment by moment relationship with him. And so for a long time I've been inviting him into my life and asking him to help lead me in a lot of different areas of my life. And I'll never forget the day when I was in school of ministry. This is a number of years ago. And I remember the thought came to me that it was actually possible to worship him 24/7. And as I was journaling about what it means to worship him 24/7, I just came to the realization like, gosh, if I just allowed my thoughts to be turned into prayers, I would be inviting him into every moment. And if I decided then to listen to what it is that he said in response or prompted in my heart as a response, then I would be worshiping him if I listened and obeyed. And gosh, I wish I could say that I do that. I know I don't do that, but I definitely want more of my life to be about that. So, I wrote this book called The River of God's Presence, and it's all about basically, all the different ways that He's designed us to live in His presence, and different invitations actually to bring us into His presence. But today, what I thought I would share is just a story about kind of, an area of my life where I've not really sought His guidance all the time. I've kind of gone in spurts. So, I have struggled with my weight for a long time, and, it really started gaining. I guess I started gaining in my late 20s it was. Like, before then, I kinda had gained a little bit and then lost, and then I'd really gotten into health, and then I got sick with fibromyalgia, and basically, kind of since my early 30s, it's just been a bigger and bigger challenge, it seems, every single year. And I definitely have, worked with different people and tried different programs. And of course, I prayed about that. I remember in 2000, I think it was 15, maybe, I went on a program where I was just working on inflammation. And I saw major, major progress because I remember just saying to Jesus, like, I need you. I need you to do this through me. But then, time went on, life went on, and I ended up just, not praying about it all the time and not inviting him into it. And here I am almost a decade later and still struggling with some health issues. Well, last week I started a cleanse and I beforehand, before I started it, I just spent like 3 hours with Jesus on a Saturday. And I poured my heart out to him and I just said to him, God, like I I need you and I need this to not just be um for the next 40 days. I need this to be for the rest of my life. And I would encourage you, weight may not be the thing that is your like issue, but I got to be honest with you, this is something that I've like given to Jesus and then taken back and then given to Jesus and then taken back. And last Saturday when I just sat with him, I just asked, would you please help me to just sit in your presence? And would you please help me to just give this to you in a new way? And would you speak to me and encourage me, whatever it is that you want to say to me about this, because I need your voice in this area of my life. And he reminded me of an encounter that I had with him a couple of years ago in prayer. And some other friends are praying for me too. And as we were praying, I just had this image of Jesus inside of my heart. And he was telling me how beautiful my heart was. But in this picture that I had in my imagination, I also could see that there were like parts of my heart that did not have his light yet. And I knew that this area, like of just health, and I don't even want to say weight, really, honestly, it's health, that this is an area that he really wanted to shine his light on. And as he talked to me about just the beauty of my heart, he just encouraged me that, that he could do this with me. I could do this with him, or I should say, he would do this with me, and I could do it with him if I chose. And so I went back to that time of prayer. And listen, I'm not an artist, but I love creative journaling. And I sat for the longest time just kind of drawing this artistic sort of heart. And I journaled behind it, just my prayer. And before I even drew the heart. And I just asked him, like, if he would just please come and just every moment of every day be a part of my health journey until it just becomes a habit, and where it's not like I feel like I necessarily need to hang on to him moment by moment the way that I feel like I do now, but that he would form the habits in me that would bring me health. And so I just want to encourage you that we can access his presence anytime. We can ask Jesus for help anytime for anything, and he is willing to be there. And so maybe there's an area of your life where, you struggle, and it's like maybe it's some area of your life you don't talk to Jesus about. I want to encourage you. He already knows about it, and he's already praying about it for you before the Father. So gosh, why not invite him in? So I want to encourage you to watch the video that I'm going to link to at the end of this one, because it's going to talk to you a little bit more about like what is available in God's presence and our original design to live in the presence of God. And I really believe that it's going to encourage you wherever you are. And I want to bless you to be with Jesus. Spend time with him, talking to him about everything that is on your heart. He's there and he's listening, and he wants to be involved every moment of every day of your life.